this video, I'm going to show you how you can clean up your Gmail inbox without deleting everything so that you can find what you really want to find a little bit faster. So right now, I am in a student email account. I am in as Betty Bobcat, and she has a lot of emails because once you start joining Google Classrooms, you can get so many emails that it's actually overwhelming. And while you can turn off getting these type of emails, I don't recommend you do that because you never know what you'll be missing. And I think the more information you have close to your fingertips, the better. So I'm just going to show you how you can kind of just get them out of your direct view, but they're still only one click away. So all of these are from Google Classroom. While I'm here, I'll point out that my teacher, Kate Straley, what this is telling me is that she's posted something in Google Classroom, but notice there's this little parenthesis and the beginning of class after her name. That's because this did not come directly from my teacher. And I want to point that out because if this had been right from my teacher, I would be able to hit reply and she would get an email from me. This is actually from a no reply email box. So if you are trying to communicate with your teacher one-to-one and you hit reply, your teacher's never going to get an email if you hit reply to this type of email. So check with your teacher on the best way to communicate. Typically that can be done through Google Classroom on specific assignments, or they may have given you their email address and say they prefer you email them directly, but replying to these isn't going to work. Okay, back to the inbox. So these have all come from Google Classroom. Notice here in the subject line is a hint of what is actually included in the body of the email. Some are new assignments, some are new announcements, which that means there is no due date, nothing you have to turn in. Here's a class invitation. So there are some other things, a due date reminder right here. There are some other things besides just assignments. But I'm going to show you how to take everything from Google Classroom first and go and put it kind of one click away. It is not, there are two ways I recommend you filter your inbox, and one I recommend a little bit more than the other, and I'll tell you why. So my suggestion is you watch this video all the way through the first time without doing anything, then decide which way works best for you. And then you can rewatch the video if you don't remember the steps and pause as you go through it yourself when you need to. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my first email because I'm going to do all of these anyway, so the first one's fine. I'm going to go ahead and click More, and I'm going to choose Filter Messages like these. So right now, it is going to let me filter anything that comes from this email address, and I will tell you that everything from Google Classroom comes from this email address. So whatever filter I put on, so whatever action I want to happen to all of these emails will happen to anything from this email address. I'm going to go ahead and hit Create Filter. So here are some options of what I could do. I can hit Delete it, but then there's no real point in me getting it. So I don't want to do that. I can always mark them as important, but again, none of that's going to clear it out of my inbox. I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to apply a label. And I'm going to choose a new label because I don't have any, and I'm going to say Google Classroom. I'm going to hit Create. So this will give it a label. It's going to give it a little gray box that's going to tell me how it's labeled, but it's still going to be in my inbox. So what I want to do is click Skip the Inbox. So if I were to hit Create Filter now, this would do anything going forward, but I already have all this existing email. So what I'm going to do is click this bottom one, just apply it to all of the conversations that I already have in there. So all 44 emails that already fall into this category of being from this email address. And I'm going to hit Create Filter. Okay, so let's see what happened. Over here, I now have Google Classroom. If I click on it, let's try again. I think it was thinking. Now, notice I'm in Google Classroom here, and here are all of those emails from Google Classroom. If I go back to my inbox, there is nothing, and that's because they have now skipped the inbox, and they have gone into my Google Classroom label. All right, I'm going to show you the other way I like slightly better in a second once I undo what I just did. So I'm going to pause my video, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back again with a full inbox. So what I want to show you now is how to filter these where maybe not everything from Classroom gets put into a separate area. That this time I only want things that say New Assignment. I don't get quite as many of the other different types of posts. I do want my due dates to be right smack in front of my face in the inbox, and any announcements my teachers make, because typically those are unusual, and so they may be a little bit more important to read right on the spot. So perhaps Zoom went down today and my teacher's letting me know that in an announcement in Google Classroom. I obviously want that to be readily available so I know not to go to the Zoom meeting. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to click on an email, and I'm going to click on the three dots, and I'm going to say filter messages like these, even though I don't know for sure that one was exactly the kind I want to filter. I'm going to take out this part that says everything from that email address. And instead, I'm going to do my subject line, because that's what I've noticed. So instead of having it from that general email address, I just want my new assignments to be filtered. So I'm going to type in the subject line of new assignment. And notice this matches what's down here. I can't go more specific than that because the words change at that point, and all of them begin with new assignment, so I'm going to put new assignment. I'm going to click create filter. And I want to do the same things. I want these to skip my inbox. I do want a label. This time I'm going to make it just simply classroom assignments. Create. And I'll go ahead and apply them to the things that are already existing as well. So I'm going to go ahead and hit create filter. And like before, we'll give this a second. And what I should see, let me do my inbox. There we go. So you'll notice now in my inbox that nothing says assignment. This is all now announcements, a class invitation, something's been graded. And then here, in my classroom assignments, are all of my assignments announcements. So I could repeat this process, and I could have, maybe everything that says graded. I would put that colon in that's right after, because there's a chance your teacher might email you and say the word graded in the subject line, but with the colon, probably not. So I would make the filter for subject line graded with the colon, and you could have a graded folder over here, or you could have a new announcement folder over here, label. It is up to you, but this should at least help eliminate some of the busyness that is in your inbox. Since I was here a few seconds ago, my teacher has posted something, so let's take a look if my filters are working. So I am in my inbox right now, and I can see that my teacher posted a new assignment, and it came right to my inbox, which is what I wanted it to do. And notice, in case you've never noticed before, bold, if it's bold, that means you have not actually opened it. If it is not bold, and if it's gray in the background, you have already opened it at some point. And notice over here there is a 1, which means I have one unread email. And notice I also now have a 1 down here, and this is bold. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my classroom assignments, and I can see, oh, my teacher just posted a new assignment. So that actually did filter correctly as well. So again, it's in my new assignment folder, or my classroom assignments folder, that's based off having new assignment as my subject. So a last thing, and I say this with a word of caution, don't mess with too much in here. You do not want to mess up your email box. We, of course, can troubleshoot issues and will help you fix things if something does not work right, but we prefer that it not be done carelessly. So up here in your settings, go to see all settings. If you put a filter on and you are not happy with the filter, you can come to this filters and blocked addresses, and you can click on your filter and you can hit delete, and your filter will be turned off. So if you make a mistake with your filtering, that's how you can do it. You can also come over here and hit delete. If you need to change the way it's filtering, you can change that here by clicking edit, and it brings you back to the same screens we were on before, the same windows here, and then you can hit continue, and you can check and uncheck as needed. The last thing that you can do is, as far as the filtering, if you do not like what you named it and you wish that maybe assignments was first because they all begin with classroom, if you've made multiple and that's confusing, you can go to labels, find the label you're not happy with, probably went right past it, maybe, Oh no, it's down here. And you can go ahead and hit edit, and then you can change the name of the label and hit save when you're done. All right, if you have any questions, reach out to your teachers and they can either assist you themselves or they will get in touch with the right technology help and we will get you up and running.